So we transition to the Los Angeles Clippers. They traded a conditional first-round pick in 2015 for Doc Rivers. A humongous win for the Clippers, a humongous loss for the Boston Celtics. All of a sudden, I have a somewhat loss of respect for Danny Ainge because you know what? Albeit the Clippers have the upper hand because you know that Doc Rivers is going to leave. However, this is a guy, bless you, that orchestrated the Kevin Garnett deal. This is a guy who he was like, oh, he's such an intense GM. He's a great GM. Yet, when it comes down to it, get DeAndre Jordan, get Eric Bledsoe, get some other piece to take away from the Clippers since you know that they want Doc Rivers just as badly as Doc Rivers wants to get out. So, with that being said, Ben Heisler, your initial reaction on the trade?
I think it works for both parties, and I wouldn't be as hard on Danny Ainge, Rick, as you are, because I don't know how much leverage he really had. I think Donald Sterling over in LA was he was dealing with a lot of the issues here. I don't think he wanted to part ways with the draft pick for a long time, and I certainly think that he didn't want to get rid of guys like DeAndre Jordan and Eric Bledsoe if he didn't have to. So this is a trade that makes both parties happy. You know, Doc can go to a team and go to the Clippers and get instant credibility. Chris Paul is more likely to stay around, and they have an opportunity to compete for a championship. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they can't trade for Garnett in a few weeks. It may still go through. I don't know whether or not David Stern is going to let it go through, and the Clippers are certainly a team that was able to benefit from something like that a couple years ago when Chris Paul was dealt over there. Remember, the Lakers thought they had an opportunity to get him, and Stern turned that down. But he wasn't going to stick around, Rick, and so you might as well get something for him. If Doc didn't want to be there, why have him? You might as well get something for him. So it works out for both sides.
I understand that. But from a Boston perspective, if you see like, oh, well, Doc Rivers is going to go anyways. Oh, yeah, we got a 2015 first-round pick. Okay, so the name that I think of, granted they got Sullinger late only because of some medical issues. However, he looks like he's going to be a fantastic player. They have Jeff Green. Okay, what have you. They didn't draft Jeff Green, but they have him. Okay, what have you. The Clippers are going to be a team that are simply going to be taken to another level, and they've already played well under Vinny Del Negro, who in my opinion did not deserve to get fired, but that's neither here nor there. Look, their draft pick is going to be between 22 and the 30s. It's going to be 20 and 30. That's where it's going to be. So you're thinking that you're going to get a good player from 20 to 30. They have a good front office. They have potential to be there. However, if you are giving them a coach like Doc Rivers, who is by far the most respected coach in the league other than Greg Popovich, I mean, come on, you got to get something more. How about 2 first-round picks? Try to squeeze as much as you can out of the Clippers. If I'm a Celtics fan, I am pissed as shit about this trade because I thought, you know what? In the words of Dennis Green, we let him off the hook. We could have got more. That's at least my perspective.
That's the thing, though. I really don't think they would have been able to get more. You're talking about a situation where they tried to use both Rivers and Garnett to be able to get some pieces back, and the trade wouldn't go through. This was a situation that they could do it. And so they knew if Rivers was going to leave, they'd get something back. He goes and he helps the Clippers, and the Celtics get 3 years and $21 million off their hands. It's a win-win for both sides. And Boston's going to be able to find a decent coach. They're going to rebuild. They're going to start from scratch and hopefully trade off some of their other pieces. Maybe certainly a Garnett, I think, is going to be on the hook. I don't know whether or not they want to keep Paul Pierce around, but they will rebuild. And Ainge has proven that he can build a championship team. It may take some time. And he's had some questionable moves along the way. Initially, when they got Green over from Oklahoma City, when they traded Kendrick Perkins, everybody hated it. But now you're looking at it a couple years later and you see what Perkins has developed into, and now you see what Jeff Green has developed into. It's looking like it's going to be a winning trade long term. Short term, maybe not so much. So I think if you're a Celtics fan, you give Danny Ainge a couple of years, you see what he's able to do and build through the draft with some of the young talent. And there's some decent young players, like you said, already on this team. Give him a little bit of time. But if Doc wasn't going to be there anyway, you might as well get something for him. And they got an unconditional 2015 pick, and we'll see what happens.
All right, well, time will tell. You see how we think about it. Leave a thought in the comments. We'd love to hear from all of you.